The most immersive board games ever.
All listed in this video. We just ranked individually the best thematic games out there. Games where you feel so immersed that it just blows your mind.
Just dripping theme.
And not story games per se. So if you take away the text, mechanisms so immersive that you feel like you're right there.
So you ranked the games, I ranked the games, we put them together and now we know what's the final ranking. 10th most thematic game in our objective opinion is...
Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch Horror.
So one of the best co-op games out there. In this game, you all are investigators trying to get rid of the evil.
Yeah, essentially save the world, where an ancient god is trying to come into the world and, well, destroy everything.
So what do you want to do? Destroy everything. Oh, okay.
Okay, bad guys to the left.
You win if you defeat the monsters, to get enough clues, to know where he is, to do different rituals or whatever it takes to just get rid of him. And you can all lose if Cthulhu comes and just...
Yeah. As an investigator, you can move and you can buy items, you can upgrade your skills, you can do encounters that give you additional things.
And most importantly, you all need to just work together to plan out who will go fight where, who will go and get those clues, who will go and get those items, because only all you working together can stop the baddie. So, fully cooperative game. You just feel like a team, you feel like you're put into this massive world.
When you start out playing it, you read all the flavor texts and all the encounters, have very good narration, and it's just really nice.
So next one, number 9, Obsession.
What? Why I'm surprised is I didn't think he liked it that much, just watch our review. Obsession is, if you've seen Downton Abbey, the TV series, that is the game. You play a family in England and you're broke and you don't have any friends and your house sucks.
This game is for the people who drink tea with little fingers up there. So you feel it while you're trying to get the most victory points. The fancier events you make, the fancier rooms you build, the more victory points you will get. It's all about fanciness here.
It's a card-driven game where you have cards, which are your family or friends that you invite to parties. And when they come, they give you stuff. They give you money, they give you prestige, maybe some other bonuses, and then you use that to improve, get better events, and bigger house is built with different rooms. And the flavor on the cards?
It's oozing with theme and this fanciness. It's a very, very Euro game, meaning it's like resources and just resource management, yet you feel like you want to be part of these cool parties.
But Obsession, a very thematic, if not one of the most thematic Euro games out there.
So number 8, Final Girl.
Phew, it made it. Woo! In Final Girl, you play the Final Girl. Essentially, if you've seen any slasher movies, that's what it is all about. You play a girl that is trying to escape the big bad guy, the killer. During the game, you run around saving victims, hiding, or gathering items.
That's it? You finished the sentence?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure there. You win the game by defeating the bad guy. There's tons of different bad guys out there, different packages that you can get, and each work a bit differently. But in general, it's either you or the bad guy. Yeah. Who will be the final character standing?
Yeah. This is a very swingy game, because the main mechanism how everything's driven is by dice. You play a card, you roll a bunch of dice, and if you get enough successes, the action succeeds. If you don't, it doesn't. And there's not a lot of ways to influence the result of that, so it can be all over the place. But even if you die and lose, you can figure out what the narrative for that was.
All of these games were inspired by movies,
yeah,
and you can totally see it. However the game will go, in whatever direction you feel like, yes, that's the story, it makes sense. It's a solo game if you add some music in the background.
It's a must way to play. Turn on like a slasher movie soundtrack, play with dimmed lights. It's an amazing solo experience. Nothing can beat Final Girl. Except, I guess...
Except War of the Ring!
Wow, that was really high for you then. It's about marriage?
You get your ring, you get married, and then you fight with your wife all the time.
That is thematic. I live that every day.
In this game, you play either the shadow side or the free people side, the good guys, and you go through the books or movies, whichever you prefer.
Books. I prefer books.
Was that a secret message?
No, it wasn't. There is no secret message.
And it's the best way how you can live through those books, because you have events that move around these characters. Then you feel like, that's what happened!
Yeah.
And it's so thematic. Everything that you do feels like, that's so cool, yes.
Yeah, essentially it's Lord of the Rings in a box. And it has a unique game mechanism where on your turn you roll some dice and use those dice to play cards and do actions.
Move your armies, move the hobbits around, and do other stuff that just happens in the books, alright? It's just like the book's just a board game, we already told that.
So the voice. Is that the secret message?
No, there's no secret message in this video. From War of the Rings to the next game, which will be, I guess, better, thematically at least?
Well, it has to be. It's number 6.
If you voted for it, it might not be. And number 6, Feed the Kraken.
Oh man, I hoped it would be much higher than that. Feed the Kraken is a hidden role board game where players are either pirates and trying to get ship to their pirate side of the board, or they are sailors trying to get the ship to their sailor side of the board, or they are the cultists, either get their ship, you guessed it, to their side of the board, or sacrifice the cult leader to the Kraken.
If one of those things happen, that exact team wins, but there's also a lot of trickery, like turning other people into cultists, and a lot of mutiny, where you can shoot each other and then pretend you didn't.
Negotiation and special abilities, but all in all, it is a board game. It's not just another mafia game or werewolf game. The best hidden role game I have ever played, and it is thematic. Just this part, when a certain event comes up, when a certain event comes up, the cult leader will be. When a certain event comes up, the cult leader will choose a new cultist. How that happens is we each put our hands in the middle table, close our eyes, and then the cult leader will use his tentacles to turn him into the cult. When everybody opens eyes, you're like, who is it? You know somebody is, but who?
I just want to remind you one last time that there's no secret message in this video.
Was this the last time?
No, one more. King's Dilemma.
King's Dilemma, I thought that was probably your top 3 at least. King's Dilemma is a legacy campaign game, but you essentially are a government of the country, but you each have your own agendas that you want to push for and get points for.
You represent a house, and that house has a big interest in what happens in the country. Everybody gets one card, they read out loud the story there, and then everybody votes. When all of the players are very engaged in the game, there's so many discussions and you feel like this is a real thing, real meeting where like, no, I don't care for the military, the education is more important. But it's so fun. Always felt like I'm into it. I need to protect my rights to kill those 3 people for stealing my grapes.
And then I backstab you because there's a lot of political intrigue. Very thematic game.
We have this brand new merch with cool board game designs that we really enjoy. For example, this dragon who's protecting board games. Who is this dragon? It's the rule.
It's the mighty dragon rule book. What is the best place to be? It's where your games are.
That's the home.
Looking at them or just arranging them, or like in our video, a couple of videos back, getting rid of them sometimes. Just keeping the ones that you really, really like. That also supports our channel, and thank you to everyone who does it. We'll wait, do it now.
Link is in the description. Project Elite, I guess.
Project Elite? Wow. Biggest surprise so far.
In this game, you are a team of space soldiers.
Space soldiers sounds about right.
Who go into different missions. You have to get in, do that mission, and get the hell out.
That is a real-time game where you're rolling dice, and when you roll certain symbols, aliens move forward. Ton of aliens on the board. And each time you roll a symbol, you pick an alien and it moves forward. If at least one alien reaches your side of the board where you landed, you lose. Get in, do the mission. You have to shoot the aliens, move the aliens, and everything's happening at the same time. You can't stop to talk.
Cooperative game, and you only win if you do the whole mission. Whatever I do and roll the dice changes the whole map for you as well. So we have to react to everything that's happening at the same time. And you have really small time to breathe.
Yeah, you're kind of trying to discuss what to do onwards, but you don't know how the dice are gonna roll and what's gonna happen. If you've seen Starship Troopers, then that is that.
Nobody watches that whole movies, dude.
What? I just recently watched it again. It's amazing.
I take my words back. Nobody except you watches those old movies.
I bet somebody else watches it. Leave in the comments who has seen and likes Starship Trooper. At least 10 comments with people saying, I like Starship Troopers.
No way. No way.
Comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 comments. The big 3.
This war of mine.
This war of mine. it is a very thematic game. A lot of people will say, This War of Mine is a story game. Yes, it is, but how we decided is if you take all the story part out, just throw the book out and just leave the mechanisms, would it still feel thematic?
Absolutely, it does, because in this game you are a civilian in a civil war and you're trying to just survive. And how you can do that is by scavenging, going outside, scavenging, and also just protecting your house and trying to stay safe at night.
Building up, like gathering water, closing up the holes in your house so other people don't get in, some hard choices to make, and it's a very thematic game. It's a very dark, and I wouldn't call this fun per se. It is a very thematic and dark experience.
It's a cooperative game. Solo also is suggested in this game. Just have to survive, make sure that all the needs are met for these people. They have all the cigarettes and booze they need. Yes, that's an actual thing. I'm not making it up.
Send certain people do certain things, like scavenge, and the more you send, the more success you have, but it's risky because all kinds of weird things, well, not weird things, bad things can happen to you. It's a lot of resource management and a lot of risk taking and some hard decisions, as I said. It is a very thematic game.
Mechanisms themselves tell a story and make you feel things.
Like we said in our review, did you eat the dog? We're not gonna answer that question.
So from this dark theme, we go
I'm pretty sure even darker theme. Yeah? No? Yeah.
No.
No? Then I know what's number 1, but what's number 2? A new kid in town. We just recently played this and wow.
In this game, you play different roles. Each player plays completely different game almost.
It's an asymmetrical Euro game.
One of you play the state, so you control the state's economy, try to actually help people, but only you can win.
As a worker class, you essentially just have workers that you send out to work for other classes, and those classes are
middle class, who have some like small businesses. They themselves want to work more, get wages as well, also raise the prosperity of your class. And then there's like the capitalists, try to get as much money as they can, build these huge companies and pay as little tax as they can. Everybody plays their roles, but they all so interconnect with each other.
And it's a card-driven game. On your turn, simply, you either play a card for its event or discard that card and then do one of the actions that is available to your class or role. I made the state collapse, but you helped, guys. You spent all the money that was in the treasury. You helped. That's exactly why it's very thematic. Everything you do somehow affects the other roles that are in the game. I think it's the most thematic Euro game I've ever played.
Agreed. That's why it's on the list. Feel invested in all your actions. I played the capitalist, played the card that moves half of my money to offshores. Didn't need to pay that much taxes, but it also means that the country will get less money, so it goes to bankruptcy. And this chain effect that affects all the players. You learn so much, you just feel like you're there. It's amazing.
Sometime soon there will be a review. Watch that and find out for yourself. It's Nemesis. Stop. It's Nemesis.
It's Nemesis. I mean, nobody's surprised here, I think.
Because I thought you might do a secret message or something.
No, there's no secret message in this video. Will you just give it a rest? Who you are in this game are survivors in spacecraft.
Alien, the board game done right.
You wake up from hibernation and one of you's dead.
Every player gets 2 missions, and at a certain point you will have to decide which one will be the one you need to complete to win the game.
So you either die, you probably die. Spaceship might explode and you die. Then alien could come and take you in as a hostage. Well, actually eat you.
He eat you.
Yeah.
Then you lose.
Yeah, you could get infected and then you die.
Then you lose, but you might also get infected. Fulfill your objective. Get out alive, then check that you were infected, and then lose.
Very small percentage that you will win the game. That's not important at all, because it's all about the theme.
Some events will start a fire in the ship. Fire spreads and then you get infected or wounded and they're stumbling around the ship and trying to find where the med bay is, or maybe just screw that and just try to get out.
You will have cards with actions that you can do, and these actions can move you around. You can discover new places. Aliens will attack you, so you have to fight back. Try to fight back, because it almost never ends well for you.
I mean, no, you run. You run.
Importantly, it's a semi-co-op, which means that you all have to work together to get to a destination. But the problem is not all of you have the same destination in mind.
Sometimes someone will have a secret objective that a certain person has to die.
From the first minute till the last, you feel like you're into that game and feel like the story is being told by the minute and you feel a part of it. And that's exactly what this top is all about.
Well, I know the first thing they're gonna mention that, what? If you have War of the Ring, then you must have the Star Wars Rebellion, right?
Sure.
But Giannis here hasn't played it yet.
Yeah, 'cause Star Wars suck!
Well, that's gonna give us some views, I think.
Come at me at the comments, that will give us good algorithm. So, we'll see you next time.
You don't mean it, right?
If you will write comments, then I will mean it even
What?
more.
No.
Star Wars sucks!
What's worse, if I say Gloomhaven sucks or you say Star Wars sucks?
Star Wars sucks.
That's worse?
That's worse, yeah.
Yeah, because nobody cares about Gloomhaven.